Hey guys, LegendaryBadass here. I bet you thought you saw the last of me with that explosion and all, but it turns out that when you die, you just have to play a chess game with the Grim Reaper, and he doesn't really know how to use the queens. It also helps if you give occasional shoutouts to fans such as Sam Stevens, and if you have a parallel universe doppelganger who is really interested in a certain period of time and reviews games based on turtles. I digress. This time, I'm reviewing Final Fantasy XIII.
Behold, Final Fantasy XIII. Gaze upon its lush colors. The high polygon count. The lifelike facial expressions. The splendor of the game meant to rule all games. Like any journey, you're going to have some heroes. Let's look at our cast of characters. There's Co-Ed Cloud, Butch Lesbian Renoa, Token Blonde Guy, Ludacris, intermittently Norwegian Redhead, and Teenage Steve Martin. Basically, all these people live on some planet that's in a crisis. There's two factions at war, Cocoon and Pulse. There are essentially three types of members in the factions. The Fal'Cie are the godlike rulers. They create agents called l'Cie from the human populace. Apparently, some silly fate has crossed our heroes, branding them as l'Cie with trendy tattoos. Now they have a focus, or as we call it, a mission. If they fail their focus, they are turned into stone creatures. If they succeed, they are turned to crystal. Tough call. So, they have to go on a journey to overthrow the Fal'Cie. That's the best explanation I could come up with, because the loser who created the story decided to replace every important noun with something completely farcical. I actually spent a good 10 hours thinking that l'Cie was just slang for Fal'Cie. And truthfully, the story is so mangled that it forces you to go to the forums of GameSpot and ask for assistance from uber nerds who have created their own perfected vision of the chaos.
Like most people, I have to go to GameStop to pick up a game as quickly as possible. Of course, they're going to make you wait till midnight and you have this big nerd gathering and all this, so I had to pre-order it, right? I pre-order the game and they say, "Oh, do you want the strategy guide?" Do I look like some kind of son of a bitch who needs a strategy guide? Do I look like some fat kid who has no idea how to use a video game controller, or someone who is generally unattractive and just hideous? Do I really look like I need a strategy guide? So bottom line, I got the collector's edition. It's pretty nice. This is the nicest strategy guide I have ever seen. It's hardbound. It's got a ton of features in here, and it doesn't give away any spoilers in the main story. You just grab that item over there, you know, because you're going to be anal about grabbing some of the stuff. Trust me, if you play Final Fantasy games, you know you need to pick up all the possible items that are available. It tells you how to level up your guys correctly, gets them situated, ready to fight all the bosses, everything. It's going to save you a lot of frustration.
When it comes to fighting mechanics, the training wheels are on for approximately 20 hours. It's ridiculous. The only people playing a series in its 13th installment are the ones who already grasp the gameplay. Don't hold our hands, Square Enix. Otherwise, when you look at it on its own merits, the new battle system is rather sweet. Gone are random encounters, and preemptive strikes are now fully determined by the player. When it gets underway, you find that it's very fast-paced. You are now a true party leader. directly controlling a single character while giving well carried out orders to as many as 2 others. Changing your tactics is called paradigm shifting. It's the most essential element to victory. There are different paradigms for different situations. You make your team play defense by calling the protection paradigm, which consists of a sentinel who takes the brunt of the opposition's attacks while 2 medics replenish health. When all is good, you can go on the attack with the relentless assault paradigm, giving you high damage dealers. Call the right paradigms and almost every battle will be over quickly. Do it wrong and you will be KO'd. One of the most important aspects to fighting is the stagger system. When your enemy has taken enough damage, the stagger meter will fill up and your foe will be incredibly weak. In some cases, there are monsters who can only be defeated by repeatedly staggering them. Also, your preemptive attacks will make an opponent almost instantly staggered, so be sure to sneak around like Solid Snake. Leveling up isn't automated. It's something you have to micromanage. You pick the stats you want and take the earned CP, might as well call it EXP, and put it towards the skills you want. Want strength? Build towards the strength orb. On one hand, it's good to improve the stats you want and eventually earn new skills, but it also slows the game down to have to manage it. Naturally, I have an idea to fix this for the next installment, and if Square Enix has a clue, they might as well steal it. Have a weighted development system. Choose from the available roles and place the percentage of experience points you want to assign. You could build a 100% warrior or a half mage, half healer. I don't care what you call the classes, just make a system that doesn't deal with micromanaging.
The biggest problem with the game is the level design. The whole entire narrative story arc is all a giant dungeon crawl. You go this way and you fight stuff. At one point I had to do mild backtracking kind of things just to go up a tower. That's about it. You have in changing environments around you that you can't explore. You can't jump off a bridge and kill yourself. You don't need to be doing that, but it's good that you have that possibility in other games. Oblivion, Zelda, heck, you could just walk down a hallway and have a rear projected changing wallpaper and get the same effect. There's no point in even looking left or right at any of the surroundings because there's nothing you can do with them. They might as well be unpainted.
Contributing to this huge problem is the shop system. I love the way 8 handled it. You could use your phone to order from the stores you've been to. It worked great and made sense. In 13, you have a save station that doubles as a shop. Stores become available to you as you advance through the game. But this doesn't fit with the narrative. No store is going to stay in business if they are this selective about who can buy from them. Are you telling me that someplace like the Motherlode kicks out customers who aren't verified adventurers? So now that physical shops are completely non-existent, there are no incentives to explore various towns. After a single fight, your HP is auto-replenished, and you have infinite magic. So you no longer have hotel rooms to buy either. So basically, towns are useless. And that's a big reason behind why you have a boring time in the city. All there is to do in a city is the same thing you do in a town, a cave, or a forest. Fight things.
I was never given a chocobo to ride, a deck of cards, any kind of fishing. I was never even given a blitzball-esque game to play. There was no mini games, like at all. There's 0 mini games. Final Fantasy games, they're littered with mini games to change the pace. This, you get battles. The battle system is not bad, but it takes 20 hours to get good. You have a problem here. You have the training wheels on for probably 30 so hours, and only after you beat the levels that are presented in the story are you given anything to do afterwards. And you know why? Download content. Download content has ruined video gaming. This whole game should be set up so that you have side quests, fun things to do, things to involve your characters, get to know them better, get to care about the world, and then you complete the main quest, and maybe you can go back and finish some things that you didn't get around to. This game, you never get a good sense of these characters. They're incredibly dull, and you end up going through this whole game not caring about anything. They talk about, hey, we gotta save Cocoon. Well, why? Like, I don't see any good reason. I was hardly even there. I don't even honestly know what the hell Cocoon is, to be honest with you. Like, the story is told in such a bad way. The ending is nothing more than your typical Japanese pseudo-anime BS, where now you've got this god creature and he's like, oh, well, I laugh all the time at things and I like to explain things to people before I kill them, but secretly I want you guys to kill me, so don't screw this up. I can't tell you what their mission was, really. They're trying to save the world, but supposedly to do that they have to sacrifice themselves, and then there's crystals everywhere, and you know, there's something about a beast that they touch on at the end. Your characters never have any drama with the antagonist. The antagonist needs to be somebody they know, they have a backstory with. Maybe they trained with them, or who knows, they went on a mission with them, they got betrayed. There's really no crossover like that. Even sometimes you meet someone, you think, oh hey, that's the badass guy right there. That's the well-endowed chick over there who talks all sinister like. She's going to be a tough boss. Not. You're barely even introduced to these antagonists. It sucks. And for them to be like godlike creatures you can't relate with, that laugh for stupid reasons, when the game also has no humor in it, that's bad enough too. I kind of like the costumes on these characters. Lightning is toughish looking. I guess they've had a lot of time to work on her since, been seeing stuff about this game since 2006, really. They don't get real annoying. You know, things are pretty to look at. The graphics would have been like a 10 out of 10 back in 2006. But now we've got other games to look at. This does not look like Heavy Rain. It looks stylized. It's not meant to be incredibly realistic. But it does look very good nonetheless, and at many times you get the pre-rendered cutscenes that look very similar to the in-game stuff. If that's your kind of thing, you're going to be pretty happy about that. You can't really complain about the graphics. It's all design choices, if there's any complaints there. It's not the most cutting-edge stuff, but it looks pleasing. I can't even believe I sat down and played Final Fantasy XIII with my dog and Stephen Colbert's Americone Dream for, what, 46 hours? It's ridiculous. It's really not worth it. I'm going to have to give it a 7.8. Now, before I bring this rodeo to a close, I think there's a few things that need to be said. From my time with the NES, the SNES, the N64, PlayStations, Xboxes, various handhelds, I've enjoyed my time with video games. I'd like to thank video games for that opportunity. I have the best job in the world, and I have the best crew in the medium, myself. I also think that it's not my problem that I have to step down. It's the industry's. Video games are no longer for legendary badasses. They are for the everyday person who has no business picking up a controller. They are dumbed down, and they are made easy. And that is why I have to say goodbye. But, if there's one last thing, to all my supporters out there, the three of you, the amount of compassion and support you've shown has really touched me. It's made a sad situation joyous and inspirational. Also, don't buy bad video games. Nobody in life ever gets what they thought they were getting. But if you work hard and you don't suck, good things are going to happen.
I'm sure you've all heard the news, but our good friend Legendary Badass is dead. He's dead.
And he slammed the laptop to the ground. He said, "Is this your idea of how to run a website?" And he simply said to him, "No, Mr. Thatcher, I have no idea how to run a website. I just do everything I can think of. Pure balls."
Rumor had it that they were taking my blood, along with several other people's, and splicing it together with famous folks such as Roger Ebert and Steven Seagal. They were trying to create the perfect movie reviewing machine. But something went wrong. Very, very wrong. You see, their test subject escaped and was unleashed upon the world. That test subject was the legendary badass. He's the perfect super nerd. Fearless, intelligent. The scientist made his balls so big that he engages other reviewers with a ruthless brutality. He bombards them with views that are backed up by cold facts and laced with sarcasm.
Legendary Badass may very well have cloned himself so then he could go F himself.